Ukraine is now on counteroffensive, and that Ukrainian strikes on Russian military targets are being successful.
Well, let's pick the brains once again of Michael Bociurkiw, Senior Non-Resident Fellow at the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Centre, joining us today live from Ottawa. Michael, good to see you. So there's a lot going on, and a lot has been said at the UN General Assembly about the Ukraine-Russia war. Give us your take on how the Kremlin might respond to all of this.
Sure, good to be with you, Sally. Well, I have to say that I think the Kremlin is probably pretty happy because they're still not feeling any real threats. Even what Mr. Trump said about Ukraine needing to win the war, he was actually contradicted by his own Secretary of State. And you know, I just came from New York from a UNGA closed-door briefing, and we were told there by very senior former U.S. officials is that until Mr. Putin really feels the pressure, he will continue to press ahead. And what was very interesting, they also said that Mr. Trump seems to be in this mindset. He still feels he can charm his way with Mr. Putin. Fact of the matter is, Mr. Putin is not he cannot be persuaded or malleable, and he will continue pushing further into Ukraine and possibly into Europe through either traditional wartime means or through hybrid warfare.
Do you think Kyiv can win all of Ukraine back, as President Trump has said is possible?
Well, it would take a lot, and the problem as was explained to us today, is that European leaders cannot find it within themselves to convince the people who elected them that they need to go on a war footing. Their economies need to be turned into war economies, not tomorrow, but today. 40% of Russian GDP now is pretty much dedicated to the war effort. And unless that happens, Ukraine will pretty much be on its own. And thank goodness it is developing that domestic drone technology that is going far into Russia. And quickly, Sally, I mean, I've heard incredible figures about how much of the Russian oil refinery system is being pummeled by the Ukrainians, so much so that they're apparently asking the Turks to return S-300 missile systems to Russia so that Russia can use them against Ukrainian drones. It's an unbelievable situation.
And also I was reading as well that Russia is now, or the Kremlin is considering increasing VAT. They've got to raise more funds. Taxes might be going up in Russia to fund this war. President Trump is putting pressure on Europe to impose tariffs on China and India because they buy Russian oil. I mean, will it be about sanctions and financial manoeuvres as well? I mean, will that play a big role, do you think, or not?
I don't think so, because we've already seen in the few weeks that India has been sanctions that, you know, Mr. Modi is, you know, pressing self-reliance, and we're going to make it through this no matter what. One thing that could hurt the Russians, at least temporarily, but could very, very much help Ukraine, again, I was told today in this briefing, was the release of the some 200 billion in frozen Russian assets sitting in European banks. That could be done through a special vehicle where the money could be loaned to Ukraine against reconstruction funds. So that is something the Russians do not want to happen.
Yeah, interesting. It's really interesting. Michael, thanks again for talking to us. Michael